to our Hall of Fame is John Ask, track coach. Can you name the first state championship won by a Jefferson athletic team? Many point to the historic 1961 baseball championship, but in fact, school history was made in 1958 at the State Mile team race in Iowa City. The Jayhawk Columbia Blue Harriers earned the distinction in the fall cinder track event, no longer contested. Who piloted that maiden voyage and forever owns the title of our first championship coach? The pioneer of the Jayhawk Thin Clads was Coach John Ask, who started the track program in the spring of 1958 after serving in the same capacity previously at Wilson High School for 11 years. Ask was ably assisted early on by veterans R.J. Noonan and Ted Lawrence. Above all, the single most memorable day in Jefferson's boys track story was May 19, 1962. The place was the new facility at the University of Iowa, and the occasion was winning the first track championship for Cedar Rapids since the heyday of Old Washington High. This time, however, it was the city's West Side School that did the honors in a tightly contested class, AA thriller. It came down to the final event, the mile relay. John Ask's foursome of Dennis Cole, George Dennis, Terry Briggs, and Bill Forch pulled an upset victory to ensure the Gold Cup would take permanent residence in the swimming pool hallway trophy case. During the decade and a half Ask's Kingston Stadium-based athletes ran, jumped, and threw, they certainly earned their share of conference and state laurels. Winning that state title in 1962 and adding runner-up trophies in 1959 and 1967 were the highest achievements to be certain. But yearly vying for top honors in the MVC were routine. Not to be forgotten, the 1965 squad produced 3 Drake Relays individual champions. The list of outstanding Ask coach performers is extensive. Consider he guided 15 individuals who won individual state titles in addition to 4 relay squads who proudly wore state meet gold. A handful of truly exceptional athletes bear mention. First, miler Ralph Trimble, whose school record stands to this day. Equally dominant were champion sprinter Bob Cole and quarter miler Dennis Roloff. Perhaps best remembered, however, were Ask's magnificent trio of mid-1960s shot-put discus artists, Tom Knutson, John Meskimen, and interscholastic record holder Doug Lane. It was Muscle Man Lane who went on to even greater heights at the USC after culminating his brilliant prep career with a Homeric heave of 70 feet 11 inches, which placed him both he and his coach on the cover of Athletic Journal. Coach Ask received numerous personal honors during his coaching career of 28 years. He was named honorary referee at the 60th Drake Relays in 1969 and inducted into the Iowa Track Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 1977. After his death in March of 1978 at age 55, the Jayhawk Relays, which he instituted, were renamed the John F. Ask Relays. The event continues to be one of the premier classics of its type in the state. In remembering Ask recently, his Hall of Fame distance runner Ralph Trimble said, "I found him to be a gentle, fair, and reasonable man, one who didn't need to be harsh to make a point when it needed to be made. Most importantly, he provided a model of good character." One final connection must be highlighted. In chronicling the John Ask story, one needs to understand it all began at the family home in Ottumwa and later continued at William Penn College with brother and teammate Bob Ask. There is John with the star. Can anyone spot Brother Bob? Now, I'm sure we've got a bright audience here. This is quiz time. Does anybody think they know which person is Bob in that photo besides Bob? John Weld, I see you think you got this. Bottom row, third to the right. How many people, anybody agree with him? All right, he's got it up there. Bob Ask is certainly right next to him. They've blown it up there, and he is third in from the side. There's his brother. And so in this case, we continue on, and the two reunited a second time, of course. And this was when the faculty of newly opened Jefferson High School was formed in 1957. John in the business education wing above the arcade, and Bob, a longtime social studies department chair, the dean of 119. Their sibling legacy in the classroom and on the field of competition is unrivaled. Let the esteemed names of John and Bob Ask forevermore serve as bulwarks in our school's formative history. Their example has merited the gratitude and commanded the highest praise of the entire Jayhawk Nation. Presenting the award is current Jefferson track coach, Chris Busing. And accepting the award on behalf of John Ask is his brother, Bob Ask.